morning from Constance Bay, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It's a cool, overcast day for May 19, especially considering the heat that we've had lately. The temperature is a mere 7 degrees Celsius and there's hardly any wind at all. I went for a bit of a drive yesterday and purchased 3 new palm trees. I bought 2 more Mexican fan palms and a Trachycarpus Fortunei. So here is one of my new additions. It's a Trachycarpus Fortunei. It's a fairly expensive palm as it's a very slow grower. This tree is about 5 feet tall in the pot, so as it's standing now, but the trunk is about 1.5 feet to 2 feet. Here's the hole. I used to have my date palm in this hole in the pot, so I've just enlarged it and now the trachy's ready to go in. You can see some of the leaves that are a bit yellow with brown tips. That's fine, it's just a bit stressed. And you can see the big difference between trachy and washi is the hairy trunk. If you'll notice here on the Washingtonia robusta, the trunk lacks the fibers or hairs on it, and so it looks more smooth. The Mexican fan palm is also a much faster grower than a Trachycarpus Fortunei. So this tree will really take off compared to the other. Because it grows more quickly, the Mexican fan palm is also much more economical than Trachycarpus Fortunei. So you'll notice both of the Washingtonia robustas or Mexican fan palms, they have leaf damage or frond damage as well. And that's from buying from a nursery. They've traveled from probably Florida or somewhere to get up here to Canada, and they're a bit stressed out. They were at the nursery for a while because I was on a trip and couldn't go pick them up. So there's a bit of damage, but they will grow. There are already new spears coming up. Just like this palm tree when I bought it last year, it lost every frond, and I was kind of worried at first, but after that it grew. I think it was 6 or 7 fronds by the end of the summer, and it looked beautiful at the end of the summer. And again, it's got a little bit of leaf damage from the stress from deboxing it or getting it out of protection this spring. But you can see there's a new spear growing on there as well. And other than the leaves the fronds that I cut off, and the one that's still damaged a bit that's still on, it really looks healthy and is doing well. You'll notice the trunk on this washi is much thicker than the new ones. They'll grow quickly though when they're in the ground. And actually the trunks are about the same height, so we'll see what happens by the end of the summer. So now we'll just take a look at the rest of the gardens. Over here I had my banana plant. I kept that one in a pot so I could bring it in for the winter just in case my ones outside died, and it was a good thing I did because you'll see in a bit. Here we have a daylily. I believe it's a John Cabot. Dark flowers, dark purplish flowers. Here my wife has some sage and we have some chives. And then some hosses, and back here, over here is another daylily. Can't remember, that could be John Cabot too for all I know. Have some pineapple plants just in pots, and they'll stay in pots all summer long. And a little Majesty palm here, and a couple more pineapple plants. And this is my Adam's needle yucca, which survives these brutal Canadian winters with no protection at all. And this is a little Majesty palm that's keep in a pot. My tikis, some of my tikis. And over here we've got cordyline, or what I like to call them our jumping plant. And so this plant we keep inside all winter and bring it out for the summer, and it really likes it out here. Along the back part of our patio here, we've got kind of my nursery. It's all my little palms that I grew from last year, and I'll be adding in some of the palms that I grew again this year. So they're all in pots and require hand watering each day because they're not hooked up to the irrigation system. Here's a few more of them on the other side. These are some larger ones, and you can see one's a Mexican fan palm, the other's a Trachycarpus, and a couple more trachys here, and some Mexican fan palms or Washingtonia robustas, and another little Majesty palm in a pot. And then in this garden you can also see some of my wife's rose bushes, along with, there's some more. So the new growth on the roses are coming along very well. We've got also the Weigela bushes, 2 Weigela bushes here, and they'll flower most of the summer as well. You can see in there as well, you can see her petunias, which will probably take over the garden as summer goes on. So right now they're just little scraggly little things that she planted in, I think, March. And then back here on the patio, I've got my 2 remaining hibiscus trees. They spent the winter at the church actually, and so they're looking a little tough right now, but they're waiting to go into the garden. They'll do really well. They go down along the steps. They frame the steps for us, and so like I said, they look scraggly. Out just outside the gate here, you can see I planted one of my little banana plants that I saved over the winter. The grass is all dead here. I rode my ATV on it and it just killed the grass when it was dry. Over here we've got another one of my banana plants that I planted here, and it's where my big one was last year, but they didn't survive the winter. We tried mulching them, but just too cold, I guess, and maybe too humid. Ended up rotting, so I think next year I'm going to try dry rooting them. And just outside the gate here too, I've got another banana plant, and it's got some pups already. Just put it in the ground the other day, and so we'll see how it does here. It should be a good spot for it. Yeah, in this spot it will get morning sun, and we'll get afternoon sun, late afternoon sun, and then during a lot of the afternoon it's in the shade of the house and out of the wind, so it should be a good spot for it. And lastly, we've got the garden with the birds of paradise, and you can see I told you in the last video it would really grow, and it's only been a couple of days, and the growth of the ferns and the hostas is amazing. So there's the little bird of paradise, which I don't know if it's going to survive or not, but here's the beast, and this one's just a gorgeous plant. One of my neighbors who's taking care of it for me for the winter, they really didn't want to give it up, but they'll be happy to get it back in September. It'll have quite a few new leaves growing by then, and should look fantastic. But it's about, in the ground, it's about 12 feet tall, I believe. Anyways, that's about it for today, and I'll have a new video out soon, so watch for that. Thanks.